A devastating loss for a Central Kentucky Fire Department. A firefighter killed in a crash, and it's not the first time his family has faced tragedy.
Caught on surveillance cameras, a man tried over and over to break into a pharmacy, but that wasn't his only crime that night.
How a university has offered to help a Kentucky teenager injured in a shooting at his high school.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening to you. Tonight, a Central Kentucky Fire Department is mourning the loss of one of its own. We've learned a crash on the Mountain Parkway killed a volunteer firefighter.
The Clark County coroner says 38-year-old Marshal Brian Craig died yesterday when his car hit an ambulance. The Owingsville fire chief tells us it's not the first time Craig's family has suffered a tragic loss in a crash. Jordan Valine shows us how Craig is being remembered in our top story at 11.
In the close-knit group of men and women at the Owingsville Fire Department,
every one of us are friends. You just don't get in this profession and not be friends.
News travels fast, and bad news?
8:23 last night.
Even faster.
But when I heard it was a death for somebody that was so well liked by the department, you know, it really hits home.
On Monday, the fire chief got the call that one of their volunteer firefighters, Brian Craig, was killed in a car accident along with his girlfriend, Rebecca Talby.
Brian talked about her highly on how things were and, you know, future plans that they had with one another.
We're told that Craig was a father of 4 and soon to be father of 5.
They were expecting a baby.
Craig's family now grieving his loss, similar to the one Craig himself grieved when his parents and younger brother died in a crash.
In 2003, they were also killed in a car accident in Montgomery County.
2 generations met with the same fate.
I really do feel tremendously sorry for his family losing him at this time.
But instead of focusing on how he died, the firefighters here hope to take lessons from the way he lived.
They're going to remember how he was there and always gung-ho and ready, and hopefully that'll carry over to them and they'll take up the same excitement towards things the way Brian did.
In Owingsville, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
The fire chief says the funeral for Brian Craig will be held this Friday afternoon at 1 at the Harold and Stewart Funeral Home in Mount Sterling.
It looks like the last day of 2014 is going to be a cold one. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey joins us now with an early look at your New Year's Eve forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Amber. On this New Year's Eve, we are seeing much colder air across the Bluegrass State. And as you mentioned, that is a sign of things to come as we get set to close out the year. Those late evening temperatures now with a little over 24 hours to go in the year into the low 20s into much of central and northern Kentucky, especially 23 Lexington, Frankfort into Covington. Throw a little bit of a wind into the mix. 17 degrees is what it feels like in Lexington, but colder air and drier air is working its way on in from northwest to southeast. That will arrive just in time for New Year's Eve. Live First Alert Defender, nothing going on across central and eastern Kentucky. It's one of the few times we've been able to show you a mainly clear, not only radar, but satellite view across all of central and eastern Kentucky as well. Though we're watching what is going on out across the Plain States, that's a system that may throw a little touch of some winter weather our way Friday, and a bigger system for the weekend. Let's talk about that New Year's Eve forecast, though. Cold start, 17 degrees, only upper 20s to around 30. And tomorrow evening, those temperatures will be down into the upper teens as the ball drops. Here's what I'm tracking when I come back in less than 10 minutes. The cold end of the year, guys, and that potential for a late week winter taste across much of the Bluegrass State.
Chris, thank you. Tonight we are tracking the investigation into an unusual string of crimes in Laurel County. Police say someone stole some vehicles from a car lot and tried to break into a pharmacy.
But as you'll see, the thief's plan didn't quite work out. New at 11, Jarek Insko shows us surveillance video of the attempted burglary.
It all started here at Yaden's Auto Sales on South Laurel Road. That's where police say a man took multiple vehicles from this car lot and used them in a separate crime. Watching the surveillance video at Thompson Drug South,
I guess it wasn't for a lack of effort because he did try.
you quickly lose count of how many times
Very high quality door.
this man attempts to break into this pharmacy.
On a few of the occasions he was using a crowbar to try to pry the door open. At one point he was using what appeared to be an axe. He kicked the door, and he also used the front of a pickup truck and tried to actually drive it up into the door to push through the door.
All the while, London police tell us there's a second crime going on that you won't catch. That's because those vehicles you see in the video, well, they aren't his.
They come back here and get the truck and try to get through with the truck, and that didn't work either. Got the G6 back, but not the truck. State police say a break-in at Yaden's Auto Sales got this man the keys to 3 of their vehicles. Surveillance video and the times in which these crimes occurred connected the two. And sure enough, the description of the vehicle at Thompson Drug matches the description of a vehicle we had on the lot. It's a joint investigation between London police and state police. It's insane that someone would go that far to try to get drugs. I mean, to catch this hardworking criminal. That dark gray 2003 Chevy truck seen in the surveillance video is still missing. So if you see it, call state or London police. In Laurel County, Jerica Ensko, WKYT.
Police in London say they're looking into whether this man is connected to an attempted break-in at another pharmacy also on Sunday morning. You can watch the raw surveillance video on WKYT.com.
A man accused of stabbing 2 people at a Lexington home has been arrested. Lexington police say officers in Clark County found 33-year-old Morgan Adams overnight. He's charged with 2 counts of assault. Late Sunday night, Lexington police say Adams got into an argument at an apartment on Martha Court off Eastland Parkway. They say he then stabbed a man and a woman inside the home. Police say both victims were taken to UK hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 2 people charged in connection to a deadly shooting in Winchester pled not guilty today. Both Lamont Wilkerson and Lillian Barnett were in court for their arraignment. Police charged Wilkerson with murder and robbery. Barnett faces a complicity to murder charge. Last Tuesday, Winchester police say shots were fired during a home invasion at an apartment on Oxford Drive. Police say one of the bullets went through the floor and hit 19-year-old Amber Cottle in the apartment below. She was killed. 3 other people were injured in the shooting. Police are still looking for a person of interest in the case.
State health leaders now say the flu has led to 6 deaths in Kentucky so far this season. They say that 5 adults and 1 child died of complications from the flu. Health leaders say Kentucky's flu activity is already considered to be widespread, the highest level possible.
And this year we're seeing widespread activity start in the state a bit earlier than we normally see.
Health experts say Kentucky usually reaches widespread flu activity in January. Doctors say on average the flu runs its course in 7 to 10 days, and they point out it's still not too late to get that flu shot. Tonight, investigators believe they're getting much closer to figuring out what caused the crash of that Air Asia flight. The plane went down Sunday in the Java Sea off Indonesia. Today, search crews began retrieving the wreckage of the plane along with some of the bodies of the victims. Craig Boswell has the latest on the investigation.
An oxygen tank and a small blue suitcase were among the items found in the Java Sea from Air Asia Flight 8501. The jetliner disappeared Sunday with 162 people on board. Several bodies have been recovered. Family members were overcome with grief as they watched unedited images of a floating body on Indonesian television. At least 2 people collapsed and had to be carried out of the crisis center on a stretcher. This man lost a friend in the crash.
A childhood friend, and then with his wife and 2 children, and it's a tragic for us.
Air Asia's CEO says the airline is doing everything it can to support the families.
We stay strong for the families out there to ensure that we can look after them even after this incident.
Helicopters from the USS Sampson are participating in the search. Another combat ship, the USS Fort Worth, is at the ready.
She's being outfitted with side-scan sonar that allows us to map the ocean floor, at least to be able to help find wreckage and debris.
The wreckage is in relatively shallow water, about 160 feet. Elite divers from the Indonesian military are hoping to recover more victims and the flight recorder before rough weather arrives. Craig Boswell, CBS News.
Search crews say they've recovered 6 bodies so far. They say they have more than 100 ambulances on standby waiting to transport remains.
Tonight, police need your help finding a missing Whitley County teenager. Williamsburg police are looking for 17-year-old Dakota Bunch. They say he was last seen at his home on Shadow Ridge around 10 last night. He was reported missing late this afternoon. Police say Bunch is about 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighs about 125 pounds. Kentucky State University has offered a full scholarship to a teenager injured in a shooting at a Louisville high school. KSU President Raymond Burse said he wanted Javante Burrows' family to have one less thing to worry about as he recovers. Burrows was shot at Fern Creek High School back in September. He's a sophomore at the school. His father called the scholarship offer a blessing.
A tragic story out of Idaho tonight. Police say a 2-year-old boy accidentally shot and killed his mother inside a Walmart in Hayden.
Police say 29-year-old Veronica Rutledge was shopping with her son and some other children at the time. Police say the 2-year-old reached into Rutledge's purse and grabbed a gun, which fired. Rutledge was hit and died at the scene. No one else was injured. Police say Rutledge had a concealed weapons permit.
Tonight, police are investigating some online threats made against Leslie County High School. Police say someone going by the name Savage Squad posted the threats on Twitter. The picture associated with that account shows James Holmes, the man accused of killing 12 people at a Colorado movie theater back in 2012. One of the tweets shows a picture of guns and the message, quote, "Can't wait to show my friends at school."
It's sickening. I mean, anytime you see a posting threatening a school shooting, you know, you like to think that maybe it's not a credible threat, but you don't know, and it's that uncertainty that, you know, scares all of us to death, and we can't afford to be wrong.
Right now, students are out of school for the Christmas break. School administrators say they will have extra security measures in place when students return on Monday.
Tonight, a man faces charges after police say he stole nearly $90,000 from his grandfather. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office arrested 32-year-old John Griffin. Over the course of a year, investigators say Griffin wrote checks from his grandfather's bank account to himself and friends. They also say Griffin used a debit card to take thousands of dollars. Police say a family member caught on and called them. The sheriff says Griffin stole the money to feed a heroin habit.
Federal prosecutors want a tougher sentence for an Eastern Kentucky judge executive in a corruption case. Morgan County Judge Executive Tim Conley pled guilty to fraud in federal court over the summer. Investigators say he received more than $100,000 in kickbacks. Guidelines call for him to be sentenced to no more than 7 years, 3 months in prison. But according to our news partners at the Lexington Herald-Leader, prosecutors have filed a motion asking that Conley be sentenced to more than 11 years instead. Conley will be sentenced next week.
A cancer charity backed by college basketball player Lauren Hill has reached a huge milestone. Hill is battling a rare form of cancer. She plays for Mount St. Joseph in Cincinnati. Her fight received national attention and has inspired many people. Thanks to a telethon in Cincinnati today, Hill's charity has now met its goal of raising $1 million in donations by the end of the year. The charity is called The Cure Starts Now. She has done so much in such a short amount of time.
A lot of courage there.